All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Loan Officer Breakfast Club, my friends. Another beautiful day. Thursday, August 21st, 2025, racing through the year at what I feel like is almost light speed, to tell you the truth. We are just flying. But hey, man, there's still a lot of time left, so no worries there. Glad to have everybody here. Owen Lee's in the house. Always a good day. You know, we got Lauren Maz in the house, too. You know, we don't say good morning to Lauren enough.
Hi, guys.
Lauren, how are you? You know, Krista Russo, of course, Gen Z. We got everybody. We got the Victory Fanfare playing. I don't need to do that. But Francis is here, Robert Ashburner, Jennifer Woodland with her big smile, as always, Sue Moody, and Wayne Garrison is in the house. Let's see who else. Daniela Doragas. Hello, Daniela. How are you, darling? And Ron Smith. Good to see everybody here. Great stuff, man. We'll say good morning in the chat, everyone. We'd love to say good morning to you. Let us know where you're at. How's it going? That kind of a thing. Maybe what's the weather like? We're hitting triple digits over here in Northern Cali again. We had a little pause. Now we're in the triples. It's supposed to be like 105. That's right, 105 today. But it's that old saying, it's a dry heat, so it's no big deal. But no, it's hot. It is hot. All right. Nick Nicholas in the house, ready to rip and roll there. Doug Kennel. Good, man. Okay. Hey, what do you say we pop into the news real quick? If you guys are into that real fast, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Let me stop this little ambient background music real quick, but I'll share my screen because there's something in today's news that I think you guys will enjoy. Let's see here. And we will share. I like my own sound effects. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so let me say okay to this. And all right, so here we go. This is in today's news. Now, if you're not getting these automatically, guys, just go to, we'll put a link in the chat. You can go to In the News. I don't think you can do it mobile. It has to be on the laptop. But if you do it on the laptop, you go to Loan Officer Breakfast Club / In the News. Jen, maybe you can throw that in the chat. Please, if you'd be so kind. And you're going to see this big blue box. You get up there, you put your email in, hit subscribe. You get these updates every day. It comes in saying news you can use is in the subject line because you can actually use it. It's useful news. So if you got industry news, it'll go into some bullet points about what's going on in the industry right now. But then at the bottom, of course, you've got loan officer perspective, got real estate agent perspective, home buyer, home seller, right? Frank's thoughts, that kind of a thing. But in the news, so you've got Zillow, revising their forecast. Who cares? I mean, I really don't care. Maybe you'll talk about this, Owen, a little bit. Buffett, man, investing $1 billion into certain home builders. That's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I don't think this guy would invest $1 billion in anything unless he thought he was going to get some kind of return on it. I mean, that's just my thinking.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he does have some kind of record cash on hand, like $180 billion or something like that. So
like, what's a billion?
if you read up on Berkshire Hathaway,
yeah,
it's good. I think it's good for the housing. What's his viewpoint is buy snow shovels in July. Housing building companies right now are carrying a lot of inventory. It's a much different picture than it was 24 months ago.
I know.
So he's buying snow shovels in July.
There you go, man.
And frankly, $1 billion for him is like putting $20 on the craps table.
Yeah. $20 on the craps table. Let's see what happens.
Let's be honest. It's 20 for me. It's 50 for Carl White.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, hey man, bottom line is, I mean, this guy's betting on the come, so he's a pretty sharp character. And here's what I think it also does. It just, as far as this being in the news and being out there, doesn't that, the perception I think that goes out there is like, wait a second, I think people would take pause to this and just ponder that, and go like, wow, maybe there's something happening in the future there. So housing starts up. We know that. And again, we talked about it before. Multifamily seems to be leading the way there. But here's the thing that I think is very useful for everybody. And this is a good thing to share with your realtor partners. And there is a realtor perspective, of course, that you can send out. But in the AP News, they've got this little article that someone put together about, when you move, especially if you're changing locations, how it can be a little traumatic on kids, right? New schools, new friends, that kind of a thing. And so they've got an article. It's a really great read. So if you've got families that you're helping who are moving to your area or moving out of the area to another area where their kids might go through this type of thing, it might be a nice little article to share with them. Say, hey, no, you're moving out of town, moving into town. Here's an article on AP News. Might be helpful for the kids, kind of a thing. So very shareable thing in the news today. Okay, so loan officer perspective, real estate perspective, home buyer and seller perspective, Frank's thoughts. So just wanted to make sure, again, go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, go to in the news, this blue box, put your info in there, and you are good to go. And we'll drop the link to the news story into the chat as well. So, hey, before we get to you, Owen, we've got just a few more minutes. I think I just will. Carl White is here, so I think I'll just check in with Carl real quick. Carl, anything to bring up before we get into the festivities, as it were, for the day?
No, I think we're good, man.
Good? Okay.
We got our MMA class today at 2:00. Gosh, Jen, I know I'm doing it. Frankly, I've been working on so many different things. I'm trying to remember which one it is right
What am
now.
I doing? Yeah. It's going to be epic, though.
Oh, I remember what it is. I remember what it is. It's like so it's like how do you make sure that you're having a market message match? And
market message match.
Yeah. So like it's like for each group of people that you're talking to, whether it's refinancers or move ups or move downs, it's a different message and different things that they look for. And and sometimes we come in and go, hey, well, I'll give you a great rate and give you a great shake. But some groups, they aren't looking. That's not everybody wants a great rate, but that's not the primary thing they're looking for. And so we've done some research and we've identified the 10 major niches and help develop exact message market match so that you're putting out the right carrot to attract whatever it is that you're looking to attract. Does that make sense?
It makes a whole lot of sense, and it sounds like a really kick butt class.
It is.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's like a study on human behavior and how the different groups are looking for different somebody that's looking to downsize or somebody that's looking to buy their retirement home, completely different mindset than an investor, and it's a completely different different kind of message and marketing that you do to the different groups. And so we're going to identify them and give you a little downloadable cheat sheet and some sample message markets match that you can swipe and deploy. So yeah, it's been very, very, very beneficial to Owen and myself. So it's really good stuff.
Awesome. That's for members. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, comes with a free lunch.
Free lunch.
All right.
Out of your refrigerator. Just
whatever you've chosen.
Whatever you have. Go grab
Yeah.
that day-old pizza, and that's what's lunch is today.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you. Carl, Gen Z, anything else to add on the marketing animal side? Just to check in. Call stars today, of course.
Call stars, we're doing 15 minutes early.
Okay. Still doing that, okay?
With Carl. Yes.
Great. So Carl teeing it up, as it were. Going to tee up the call stars today. Are you going to
really
continue to
great,
do that
too.
next week, Carl? Is that just this week, or what's your?
We're doing it this week for sure, and then we'll look to see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think everybody's got the gist of it. It's like it's just getting over that first hesitation of what do I say and how do I say it and what's the common rebuttal. So we've been doing a little scripting and throwing in a couple extra nuggets. So I think everybody says it's been real beneficial, and the results that we're seeing on the call stars has been particularly good. Last couple weeks, dude. I was just that's right, it was yesterday. So I did that podcast. Gosh, I'm gonna screw this up. See, I know better than do this. I recorded the podcast with
Melissa?
yes, Melissa Reichel. Fascinating story. Very, very inspiring. I know we touched upon it yesterday. Fascinating story. Literally.
Remind me, what did we touch on? I don't remember.
So, dude, so she was in the support business and doing stuff for other people in the business. But in I think it was January, decided, hey, I'm going to go do my own production, and really struggled, like we all do, right, for the first 90 days or so. And so this is her first year of her own production. And the month of August, she has 6. So I think 3's already closed. I think 1 was yesterday afternoon. I think it's like 2 more, something like that. But like going from literally 0 to 6, and like most of us did, living off of our savings, getting a little scared, and it's just a very inspiring, fascinating story. So
that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Going from 0 to 6 is a huge jump. It
really,
really
massive.
Yeah, it's massive
change. Massive change. Yeah. And the simplicity, you know what it took, man? It took courage and a burning desire. That's what I got out of the whole thing. It's just, and courage isn't the lack of fear, as we all know. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And just a remarkable young lady. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, she's here saying thank you to you, Carl.
Oh, I didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
hello, Melissa.
It was fascinating. So I'm glad. I think it was. I think Marty's the one that brought her story to our attention. I'm so glad that Marty did. It was. I can't wait till it's released. It was really good.
Good stuff, man. Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to that.
And she was good too. And she was good too.
Oh, yeah.
No, she was. Right. It was a very inspiring, fascinating story. So.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. Good stuff, man. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing that pop out. Thank you so much. Well, let's get to it, man. Let's get to the mortgage market update. Mr. Owen Lee.
Hey, Carl, I'm with a friend of yours.
Who's back there?
Let's see.
Hey, girlfriend.
How are you guys?
Hey.
Where have you been? Where have you been? How come you haven't been on here?
Been locked up working.
Yeah, we love your
Getting those loans
stories.
closed.
We love your story. I was just bragging about you literally just yesterday. I did a little PowerPoint presentation. I had your smiling face up there, and I was bragging on you. So good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Awesome. It's good seeing everybody.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Oh, now we're back to Owen.
I love this.
I know.
Hey, Owen, can you just?
Owen.
Hey, Owen, could you stand up and maybe let her sit down? And would that be?
Sure. Yeah, I know my place in the pecking order.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So what's going on, man?
Anyway. All right. So I've got some market news. I've got some confirmation, and I've got some things that I think would be excellent for the 284 people on this call to pass out. So, Jen, if you could just throw that up there. Okay, so here's the last 10 days of our market. And, everybody kind of got freaked out. I think it was last Thursday. We were riding the high for the year. And then we got that 0.9% wholesale price index, producer price index report that kind of, you can see, put the market sideways. But this is kind of stabilized, and I don't want anybody to, get freaked out or anything like that. The move from the top to the bottom of this chart is about 35 basis points.
Okay.
So not a big deal in price. Not that you want 35 basis points, but we're still very near the highs for the year. And we were in positive territory for the last 2 days. So whatever really happened, we're up a little, couple of ticks to open the market today. So whatever happened with that 0.9, the market's kind of absorbed it. They've moved back their rate cut expectations, as we'll see in a minute, just a tiny bit. But we're still absolutely near the highs for the year. So that's some very, very good news. So if we can see, Jen, if you can switch over to the next slide. So here's where we are. We are now at about an 81% bet for a 25 basis point reduction, and about 20 people have bet, 20% of the people are betting that there will be no reduction for the September meeting. So it's still heavily in favor of a 25% or 25 basis point reduction, and that small chance of a 50 basis point reduction has gone completely away with that wholesale price report. So that's kind of muted. Remember, we had that jobs report that was horrible with the 800,000 in walkbacks from previous months and whatnot. So we're still 81% sure that we've had that we're going to have a 29% reduction. But here's something that I think is very interesting that everybody might want to use. Jen, if you can go to the next slide. So we talked about it last week, right? This is straight from Yahoo Finance. I don't know that people typically go to Yahoo for their financial news. It's not Bloomberg, it's not, CNBC or Fox Business or, Wall Street Journal, but it's really a more regular, middle of the road. I saw this article, and it said the Fed is expected to cut rates. Don't expect mortgage rates to follow. This is a great piece, and you can see it was published on August 16th. I saw this. I thought it was great for this, the realtors that you might be referring to. According to CME Watch, that's the chart that we just looked at, traders see an 85% chance of a rate cut in September. Those odds are essentially baked into today's mortgage rates. Rates could still go up and down. However, earlier this month, weak jobs data in particular helped push mortgage rates to their current year-to-date lows. So what this article basically says is the rate cut is now. Like, we have the rate cut already. And if I were to widen out that 10-day view, as I did earlier, you can see the marker of where we got that jobs report and where it became baked in. So I know we have this conversation constantly. I know that people, need to hear this over and over and over again. But if I were writing loans right now, I would be locking my pipeline. You don't know what's coming. If we get a 25 basis point cut in September and the language in the Fed statement is what the market expects, interest rates will stay where they are right now. It's already baked in. We come out and we don't get the 25 basis point cut, or Fed Chair Powell says something at the press conference that the market doesn't like. What the market's expecting is one more cut in December, one cut in the first quarter of next year. Any movement away from that will cause interest rates to go back up. So I would be locking my pipeline for the most part. There's much more downside risk to floating than there is upside risk. So I would definitely be locking right now, and I would use these types of articles. And if you want to get the whole article, it's easy to Google or ChatGPT. But I would be using these whole articles to go to your realtors and say, hey, send this out to all of your prospects. Send this out to your past client database. Everybody on this call should be sending this out to their past client database. People who think a Fed rate's coming in September, so mortgage rates are going to drop in September, that's conventional thinking. We on this call know differently. So I would just be a strong advocate of using this information to educate your pipeline. Maybe it'll pop one or two or three more loans, one or two or three more commission checks for you. Strengthen your relationship. If you can become the trusted expert for your realtor database or for your group of realtors, that's going to strengthen your relationship with them. So I would just be a big fan of reading these articles. Take this sheet right here, or Krista just put it in the chat, and use it for your marketing. So here is one more fun one. I couldn't resist. So we've talked about the CFPB a ton. We've talked about the CFPB. We're anticipating a comment period for rule changes on loan officer compensation. There was a court decision a couple of weeks ago. If you recall, President Trump and DOJ tried to lay off a bunch of people from the CFPB. The union that represents those employees went to court, got an injunction preventing the layoff until they could argue some case about whether or not Trump had the right to do that, and whether or not, because remember, the CFPB was created by legislation. So a president can't, any president, right, left, conservative, liberal, whatever, just can't sign a executive order and dilute departments that were created by legislation. But what he wanted to do is lay off about 88% of the employees. And so a federal appeals court lifted the injunction, which means they can proceed. So they're expecting to lay off about 1,500 employees from the CFPB and really, really take that down to about 10%. And they're going to carry out legally required activities, as you can see in the text box there. So listen, everybody ought to be hoping and praying that the CFPB keeps those 200 people around to change the rules. Because if we don't change the rules and we just have a period of lax enforcement, that doesn't do anybody in the industry any good whatsoever. Because if we get, Governor or President Gavin Newsom or President Tim Walz or President Kamala Harris in 2028, whatever your flavor is, the pendulum will swing right back and we'll be exactly where we started. So this is something that's got to be done, but they did, nobody looks at the headlines 4 months, 5 months, 6 months later. Those people are going to end up getting cut. And, you can talk all you want about the CFPB, and they did do some good things, but there are a lot of folks that thought that they were just really, really extending their reach beyond what the legislation created. So I just thought that was interesting news that people would want to see. So there you go. Interest rates are still near their lows. We already got the interest rate bump from the anticipated Fed cut. Let your realtors know, let your pre-approved and looking know, let your database know. Record tappable home equity we talked about last week, record outstanding consumer debt we talked about last week. It's a great mixture for us. We have a really good story to tell.
Hey, Owen. Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, Rick asked a great question. Do you see pressure later in the year to cut rates due to the national debt rolling over?
There's a lot of talk about that. So, there's a lot of expiring debt. There's a lot of short-term. The Federal Reserve, the Treasury Department buys bonds. That's where they get the money to fund the national debt. If that interest rate goes down, just like everybody else, the Treasury borrows money at a less expensive interest rate. The government saves money. That's a little too conspiratorial for me. I don't think they're trying to manipulate interest rates so the government can get lower interest rates, because just think one step beyond that. The government forces lower interest rates and that spurs inflation. The government's got a much longer period of time, just like everybody else, where they're borrowing money at higher rates. If the U.S. Treasury Department's need to borrow money was going to end in 2026 or 2027, I might believe that. I mean, there's a lot of smart people that believe it. I'm not a huge believer in that, but some people are. So
yeah, man, I can't remember what I was going to ask now.
Darn it!
Gosh darn it! Shooties. Well, I think one of the things I want to bring up though is obviously I think we've enjoyed some gains, right? And it just seems like you're saying just lock. I would have to just say emphasize that as well, because
I don't
enjoy some gains.
I just don't think the upside is there.
Yeah, it's not like it's just going to run away now and get better and better and better. I think that we're looking at is the possibility of losing some. So I think the lock thing is right.
Listen, a wise mortgage trainer I know once told me that every time you pick this up, you have the opportunity to change someone's life. And that's a cool thing about our business. Most businesses don't have that. And, what I would say is we've got the best story to tell since probably March of 2022, right? We've got inventory at highs we haven't seen since the pandemic. We've got a cooled real estate market in major markets, especially in the South and the Southeast. We've got a record amount of tappable home equity. We've got record amount of outstanding consumer debt, and we've already got we've already got an interest rate decrease showing up in mortgage rates that the Fed is likely to give in September. When in the last time in the past 3.5 years have we had a better story to tell than today?
Mhm.
So kudos to everybody who's on Call Stars. Kudos to everybody that's do your prospecting. Get out and tell that story. It's the best news you've had in 42 months. So, let's go get it.
Mm. Amen, brother. Mr. Owen Lee, everybody.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for enjoying this Loan Officer Breakfast Club YouTube video. If you are into industry news, if you like to keep up with what's going on within the mortgage and real estate industry, you might not be aware of this, but you can get free news snippets every single day by going to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. In the top nav bar, you'll see in the news. Click it, daily, fresh news about the mortgage and real estate industry. There's even loan officer perspective and realtor perspective on each news story that you can make use of in your marketing. So enjoy loanofficerbreakfastclub.com/in the news. Good stuff. You know what Kara put in here? The public doesn't seem to believe anything we say about rates not dropping in September, LOL. And it's true. They have this perception. And so my thing is great. Let them run with the perception. And September say, okay, let's go. It's time to get things going. You know what I mean? Good enough. You think that's where we are? That's where we are. But yeah, the truth is they don't know, and trying to change that perception is pretty tough. But all you can do is what Owen's suggesting, like send this article out, talk to our real estate partners, talk to our clients, that kind of thing. It's the best we can do. We control our little, our little world.
If I were originating mortgages right now, I would make videos. I would send them out to my clients. I would send a narrative, and I'd say, now is the best time to get a mortgage in the past 3.5 years. And
there you go.
And that is a God's honest truth statement. So if you're waiting, what are you waiting for?
Well, and
I hate to say it, rates aren't going back to 5. I don't think.
I don't think they know what else to
that we don't
ask
now see.
either. Like the public doesn't know what to ask. That's what they're being fed. So it's up to us to kind of turn that around and educate them on what the market's doing. So, and just keep a pulse on it. That's why you've always got to be reaching out to your past client database and your prospects and letting them know what's going on in the market, because then they start to come to trust you and your opinion.
Yeah, indeed. Good. Awesome. Anything else from anybody for Owen?
And you know what? One of my early mentors told me, he said, Carl, look for people who are looking for you. Look for people who are looking for you. And where that came from was, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you before. I think I've mentioned it here before, and it's not one of my shining moments, that I used to literally, when I first got started with this, I used to literally go to the mailboxes of apartment complexes, literally grab the trash from the mailbox, which is all their discarded junk mail, and formulated mailing list from them and started sending out mailers, trying to convince them to buy a house. And I shared that with my mentor. He said, first of all, I don't know if it's even legal, which I thought it's in the trash, right? He said, but otherwise, he says, Carl, that's a lot of effort. Look for people who are looking for you. Look for people who are buying houses today. Instead of trying to convince somebody to turn from a renter to a buyer, and I'm not completely, I think we can still be doing that. He said, but put your main force on, look for those people that are already borrowing money this month, buying a house this month, and put your attention on those people, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Melissa, when we were sharing her story here a little earlier, went from 0 to closing 6 units in a very short period of time. And she's just simply found those people she found, at least in her case, 6 people that were buying a house this month. And it just comes down to good old prospecting, just good old prospecting. And so anyway,
Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
Just while we were sitting here, so Ed Warren put a great comment in there, and it said, over the long term, homeowners' net worth is 81 times higher than renters. 81 times. Yeah. Think about that. So for everybody out there, Carl, about 4 months ago, when we were out to dinner and sharing a cigar, would not let me leave the table unless I put the ChatGPT app on my phone, because he was not happy that I was not using it enough. I've become addicted to it. So I just put in chat, is the average net worth of a homeowner greater than that of a renter? So is the average net worth of a homeowner greater than that of a renter? Came back median. That means, just as many above as below.
Yep.
A little bit different from average for all us math nerds out there. Median net worth, homeowners, $396,000.
Okay.
Homeowners median net worth, $396,200.
Okay.
Renters median net worth, $10,400.
It's a big difference. That's
Yeah,
notable.
I think so.
Sobering. Yeah.
40. Now that's 40-ish times. There's, average net worth is the same.
Wow.
This is the latest data from the U.S. Federal Reserve.
The
Just
average
chat
net worth
GPT, again,
of a tenant is $10,000.
Median.
Is their total?
$1,400.
Yeah, not average.
No,
Median.
I get. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It also gave the average. Homeowners average is 1.5 million. Renters average is around 95,000.
I mean, there's
So
your
wait,
Facebook
so the
memes.
average is 1.5. And what was the other number?
Versus 95,000.
95. Wow.
So if you're doing the average, it's about 15 times.
Dude.
If you're doing the median, it's 40 times.
I just have to say, I am so grateful as I'm approaching that age. I am so grateful that I'm not relying on Social Security. I'm not betting the lovely Mrs. White having a roof over her head. I'm not betting on Social Security Administration sending me a check. I think they will. I hope they do, right? And I think they will. I think they'll continue to.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, it sure is nice. Somebody's got a net worth of 95 grand. They are I don't know, captive or dependent on somebody else, and that's always a very scary thing to do.
Right?
So,
It's hard to retire on 95 grand.
It-
So
it-
Ed
yeah.
Ed Warren, great comment in
Wow.
the chat. Thank you for that. But just look it up. ChatGPT, Google, Grok, whatever But I got that piece of information because Carl made me put this on my phone. So.
See, he used to tell me how smart I was because I was sitting there on my phone real quick. Hang on, let me chat GPT. Hang on, Owen, I got a text from Maria. Let me check this real quick. And
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Well, hey, man. Owen, thanks so much for being here, brother. It's always a pleasure. We're super lucky and blessed to have you come show up on the show. We all appreciate it very much. And
It's the best start to my day of any day of the week. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, let's get moving. Today's Thursday. Who wants to tell us what we do on a Thursday? Come on. Somebody volunteer. Otherwise, I will play the Jeopardy music.
I think
Maz will pick someone. Go ahead.
I think Shelly would love to tell us what we do here on Thursday. Miss Leffler, do you know what? And if we can help you out. Do you know what activity we do on Thursday?
Yeah, we're gonna call our pre-approved and looking.
That's right.
We're gonna talk to them about this mortgage rate being the lowest in 3.5 years. And now is the time to go find that house and write that contract. So,
I love that.
Indeed.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then once we call the lead, then we call the
real estate agent. Yep.
Yep. Touch a lead, touch a partner.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Where you at, Shelly?
I'm on the Illinois side of St. Louis.
Oh, nice. You notice in your St. Louis, you signify which side you're on. It's like
I'm like 40 miles east of downtown. So I live in a town of only 2,000 people. So no one's heard of it unless you live here. So
it's beautiful up there.
Right.
It's beautiful up there. That's like Kansas City. They always say which side of Kansas City. I don't know if there's any difference, but everybody's very, very, So good to see you, Shelly.
Are you literally the mayor of your town?
No.
Okay.
And I am so bad. I produce a lot in the counties next to me. I only know the people on my block. I don't have any kids, so I'm not really involved in this community that much. So I go to the Illinois side. I go to St. Louis a lot.
Awesome. Good stuff. Hey, well, thanks for telling us what we do today. That was awesome. Appreciate you. Guys, I think it's time for us to get on out of here. What do you think? Make it happen today. Pre-approved and lookings. Got plenty of content to share from today. That's for sure. Good stuff. All right. Well, we'll be here tomorrow with Chris Johnstone. We're going to learn some great stuff from him, as always. Watch for the email that will go out to tell you what we're doing tomorrow. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you here later at the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Adios.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good day.